Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. It's Bijal here. I am going to talk about a kiddie pool today. I had this really cool conversation with a friend earlier. We were actually on a strategy session and we were talking, and it just came to my mind. Super smart guy, really smart, like so damn good at what he does, but is playing small. And I came up with this analogy while I was just on the fly with him and we're in Messenger. And I was like, hey, what's the issue? Like, what's been going on? It seems like you're putting out lots of great content. You are showing up all over Facebook. You have tons of strategy sessions, which are awesome. But the issue is he wasn't really closing very many of them. Actually, it was pretty low where his close rate was at. So I asked him the question. I was like, are you stuck playing in the kiddie pool when you really should be at the adults swim up bar? And we I thought it was a funny analogy because it kind of like obviously makes sense when you think about it from a kid perspective. You're like, I'm an adult. I know I can't fit in the kiddie pool. I know that it's not going to be that comfortable. I know I'm not going to hang out here for that long, right? You know that it's uncomfortable, so you want to get out. And so he was talking to me and saying, you know what? All of my clients are poor. And I was laughing. I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, no, I mean like literally poor. Like they don't have money. They can't pay rent for the next, like they haven't paid for the last 3 months. They don't have anything in their savings. They don't have anything in their checking. And they also have a poor mindset. And I think that was the one that really hit home for me. Because I'm a big fan of mindset, as you guys know. So say hey to me if you're here. Hey, Christina, nice to have you here. This is going to be a really casual conversation. I just want to come on here and talk about this analogy so you can use it in your day-to-day business. And yeah, it was really interesting. So as he said that, and he was really frustrated because he has an awesome offer. He is damn good at what he does, and he just needs to be able to start selling more of it because more people need his help. And he's actually going to bring a lot of people more revenue into their world, especially with what he's doing. The issue, though, is he's stuck in his own kiddie pool, meaning his environment of who he's surrounded by. So when prospects come to you and they're thinking small, they have a poor mindset and they're like literally poor, like broke, don't have money poor, that stuff engulfs you. And so then you keep getting surrounded and stuck by those same people. So let me ask you a question. How are you supposed to sell high ticket if everybody around you is also a kid playing in the kiddie pool? I mean, you really can't. You really can't. I mean, you can have like the most baller skills, all right? You can have like an 80% close rate. You can't be closing on people consistently when they don't have any money either. So they are poor, literally, and poor mindset wise. And so what happens is that this guy, he was like stuck in this trap of like knows he should be doing better, but is like, all my clients are broke. So imagine where this went, right? We get towards the end of the call and I was like, all right, cool. We know what your issues are. Got to help you with your sales because you have the goods. And then we also have to help you attract the people who actually have money to invest back into themselves, right? We want to get you to the adults only bar, the really baller one at the resort with the swim up bar, no kids in sight. Like we want to get you there. And that's metaphorically just painting the picture of this is where you want to be business wise. You don't want to be in that inflatable kiddie pool where nobody has money and nobody has power, nobody has control, and everyone is sulking in their cesspool of kiddiness. Versus being an adult, having the funds, having power, and then having control over what your future is going to be. That's the position you want to be. You want to be playing with those people because when you show those people an awesome offer that hits the spot, you're confident in selling it, you know you're damn good at what you do, and you know you can help them. And the guy's like KLT, So no like trust, like he's got that down pat. The guy's like immediately has that off of him. He's just an authentic person, a genuine person, which is why I stopped to help him, because I was like, why are you drowning? What's happening here? And we got to the finances part, and lo and behold, I was just waiting for this. Actually, this is the entire call. I was just waiting for this moment. And no surprise to me, and his wheels were turning too. We got to the finances and I was like, all right, so like, what's in the business checking? He's like, what business checking? And I'm like, oh shit. He's like, am I supposed to have a separate business checking? I'm like, yeah, you are. And we got to the funds, and like a lot of people, he has the COVID hustle. Things happen. Things were better before then, and he's in a tough spot right now. And it was really clear, somebody who's super talented, but can't get out of the kiddie pool because he's stuck with his own finance situation, and his own funds. And all of that energy, guess what? It's mirroring onto his prospects. And he's now attracting those people to come join him in the kiddie section. So at the end of the call, I told him, I was like, listen, you have a very solvable problem. You have a very common problem that's solvable. Don't let your current finances dictate your future successes. Don't make that happen. Don't be stuck in the kiddie pool because you're surrounded by people who like to wallow in it, hang out there, commiserate, talk about how bad COVID is. Don't get stuck there. Don't let that infiltrate your mindset. Because if you have to pick between your mindset and your environment, a toxic environment is going to drown you all damn day. I don't care if the kiddie pool has 6 inches of water. You will drown quite figuratively and literally in your business if you hang out there. So I put the pressure on him and said, we have to fix this problem. Knowing enough information and data that this guy has a good offer, is talented, and is capable of doing so. Not going to just say that to somebody off the whim. But we need to get you guys into the adult pool where success and the water is deeper, 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet, and onward. It's just deeper. It makes your job easier. So when you go to a business person who's making 20K, 30K a month, and they're kind of making that kind of revenue, they've already solved a lot of their basic problems. And so now they're looking to leverage expertise of somebody like you with what your offer is. And this guy had a badass offer, and he was going to help people who were making like 4K and 7K. The problem is he wasn't making that. And that's not even so much as the problem. The problem was he wasn't showing up as the type of person who can make that. That's the bigger problem. I work with people all the time who make more money than I do. I mean, I'm working with a client right now who made 250K in a quarter. I mean, that's nowhere near where I'm at right now. It doesn't mean I'm not going to get there. So that's what's really important. Some people get confused between, oh, well, my client's at this stage and I'm only here. That's not the problem. The problem is the mindset, and what are you going to do to get out of there? How are you going to play the game differently so that you can be in the bigger pool surrounded by those people, which make it so much easier. When you're talking to established entrepreneurs, established business owners, they have the funds. They have the funds to pay you your offer when they need it. When it sounds right, you're confident it's going to solve their problem, they'll pay it to you. It's just not that hard. You're a good person, they click with you, we're ready to go. So that's what I wanted to come on here and say today. Hit me up if you're here with #live. Let me know if you have questions, or if you're ending up coming in here a little bit late. I want to hear about which pool are you in your business. Are you in the kiddie pool wondering why this is happening to you? Oh, I have a plan. Oh, I'm just starting, blah, 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 blah. Or are you going to get real and say, I'm in the kiddie pool, but I want to be in the adult one? And if you're already in the adult one, you kind of know what I'm saying. And let me know if you're there too, because I'm sure you took some chances. You made some decisions that took you over there. So let me say, hey, Paula, how's it going? Nice to have you here. Let me know if you have some questions. I'm going to take a few questions at the end of this before I have to hop on to some work. So Christina says, how does he serve poor clients and stay in business? Oh, so he does. but it's the typical entrepreneurial story. He's a creative entrepreneurial, and I'm just going to leave it at that because I'm a creative entrepreneur. So I have a soft spot for people like me and Christina, who are like the arts and design people of the world. We work differently and we're driven by passion, and we get like lulled by all of these like creative forces that ignite a passion in us and fuel us differently than maybe other businesses do. And for him, he's in a creative business, and so he loves what he does. He's damn good at what he does. So he's helping other people who are creative. So he has a soft spot for them. That's how he's helping them. He is taking two pays for things that should be paid in one. He is talking to a lot of people who eventually want to find the money to help to be able to work with him. But they're getting some of the advice, they're getting some of the pieces kind of along the way. So that's how he's serving them. I mean, he's got some people that he's doing business with, but eventually where he'd like to go is towards the more established businesses. He wants to be able to serve those people and be seen by those people, be recognized by those people, and be respected by them. Nobody is going to buy the high ticket stuff from you if they're not respecting how you're showing up, right? Like you wouldn't do that. So if you wouldn't buy from somebody that is like you, then you need to change as a person. So we were talking about his branding. We're going to position him differently. He needs some help with his sales chops to make sure he's closing the people that are closable. But man, it's so much easier to close people when they actually have the funds. So that was the topic of today's call, is to really be real and just come on here and say, get out of the kiddie pool. And stop making excuses about it. Like the amount of like rah-rah over making 5K a month like needs to stop. And I'm not saying you shouldn't celebrate your achievements. I mean, you cannot stay at 5K a month. You cannot stay at 7K a month. Those type of revenue goals, or even 10K a month, it's not enough to scale. It's not enough to actually hire employees. It's not enough to work on your business and not in it as an employee. You're going to be a slave to your kiddie pool if you end up choking out at 5 and 7 and 10K. All of this to say, get your investments in order, get your resources in order, and start making alignments with the right team members so that you can start to be in the position where you get to actually be the CEO and you're running your ship. And you're looking at it from the 30,000 point of view, and you're only diving down and back in when you need to, not constantly at like the 5-foot view. Somebody else should be taking care of that for you. So yeah, that's what I had for you today on today's live. I always notice for me, like during the week when I'm talking to people, I always get the sense that there's like a common theme that's happening for people. And I don't know if I'm attracting it or they're attracted to me or how it works exactly, but I've just felt urged and compelled to say this. And I hope this message reached you. Because I know the people in my life who are watching these videos are immensely successful people who really give a damn about helping people, and they're not just in it for the money. I don't really tend to attract those people, probably because I'm too genuine. So like, I don't like those people. And so I hope they just like unfriend me and leave my circle. That's not the kind of person I jive with. So it's about making a difference in people's lives with our special assets and our gifts. And we should be able to do that without painstakingly being broke, barely making the bills go by, and then being constantly worried about like what's going to happen. I have a new baby coming. I have to buy a house. I have this payment I make. That kills me. Like at the end of my call, sometimes when I see the person get into that state and men and women, they get really watery eyed, and then I'm getting watery eyed, and then I'm like, damn, what are we going to do to get you out of this? Like, but there is a way out. There is a way out. There is hope. You don't have to keep repeating this cycle. I want you to know you have it within you. That doesn't mean you have to know every single business skill. So fine, you're not awesome at sales. That doesn't mean that's not fixable. Okay, cool. You're not attracting the right audience. Again, doesn't mean it's not fixable, right? You may even be in the position, I just don't even know what I'm doing wrong. Also very common. That still doesn't mean that you're not a badass at what you're doing and what you bring to the world. All right? So this is a lot of what I talk to people about when they're on my SS calls, is because so far, honestly, every SS call I've had, the person is legitimately good at what they do. So I'm thankful for that, because honestly, if they sucked at what they do, I'm hanging up in 10 minutes. I'm hanging up. I'm going to be like, I think you just need to figure out what you really want to do in life. You know, entrepreneurship is not for everyone, but it's for a lot of us. So, yeah, exactly. What we're saying down here, Christina's saying, excellent message today, and have Aldrin on here. There is a way out. Yeah, absolutely. There is a way out. And you don't have to know every piece of it to be able to get out of it. So that's what I have for you today. Happy Tuesday. I want to see a lot of you later this year. I know 2020 has kicked butt for some people and has kicked some people's butt. At the end of this year, though, I want you soaring, and I want you to be getting out of this mess, whatever one you're in, and be finding new ground and new place for hope, and also a place to build your legacy and to continue to build out your businesses. So anyways, much love to you guys. Know that somebody is thinking of you, know that somebody is rooting for you, and know that everyone is not after your money, and not everyone thinks of you guys as a wallet. There's a lot of good entrepreneurs out there who truly are really good at making sure that people get to where they're going. I know I have like a billion coaches, so to be fair, I feel like I add a coach a week. So, all right, y'all, have a good one. Happy Tuesday.